Security, custody, and privacy are not the same thing, but most people treat them like they are. And as crypto becomes more regulated, the default way to hold assets will quietly shift to convenience over control. If you don't understand your options, you won't lose your crypto. You'll lose your choice. Crypto security has three distinct layers. The first one is security. That's about protecting your access, passwords, devices, recovery phrases. The second is custody. This is about who controls the keys, who can move the assets, and under what conditions. The third is going to be privacy. That's about who can observe, freeze, restrict, or report activity. These layers overlap, but they are not the same thing. And most mistakes happen because people only focus on the first one. Let's start with the most common option, exchanges. When you hold your cryptocurrency on an exchange, you do not own the private keys. You own a claim on the platform. The exchange holds custody, controls withdrawals, enforces compliance rules, and acts as the legal intermediary. From a security standpoint, exchanges are often very strong. They're professionally managed. In some cases, they're insured and they're monitored 24/7. From a control standpoint, though, withdrawals can be delayed, accounts can be frozen, access can be restricted, and reporting is mandatory. This is not a conspiracy. This is how regulated financial systems work. Exchange custody prioritizes convenience, recovery, and compliance at the trade-off of control. Next is warm wallets, and that includes wallets like Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, MetaMask, Bifrost, and many more. But here's the key distinction. In a warm wallet, you do control the private keys, but not the platform. Ownership shifts from permission access to direct control. That's a big step, but it comes with responsibility. Warm wallets are connected to the internet, designed for interaction, and used for apps, DeFi, NFTs, and bridges. From a security standpoint, keys are protected locally, but devices are attack surfaces. Blind signing is a real risk. From an ownership standpoint, no intermediary can freeze your funds. No platform can deny a transaction, and no account approval is required. From a privacy standpoint, activity is still visible on-chain, but not directly tied to a custodial account. Warm wallets maximize flexibility, but they increase behavioral risk. Now let's talk about cold storage wallets. Cold storage means private keys are generated offline and never exposed to the internet. Transactions must be signed physically. This is how institutions protect long-term holdings. Cold wallets are designed for storage, not interaction. They have minimal surface area. Here's the most important thing, though, that people misunderstand. A cold wallet protects your keys, not your decisions. If you sign a bad transaction, the wallet will sign it. That's why institutions separate storage wallets, interaction wallets, and operational wallets. Cold storage prioritizes sovereignty, long-term security, and minimal counterparty risk. The trade-off is convenience. This is where perspective matters because institutions don't ask, what is the safest wallet? What they do ask is, how do we limit damage if something goes wrong? They design for separation of duties, limited permissions, and no single point of failure. That's why you see custodians, multi-sig structures, policy-based approvals, and tiered access. The mindset isn't paranoia, it's realism. And that's the mindset that retail users really do need to understand. As regulation advances, custody options don't disappear, but the defaults do change. Regulated systems favor custodial platforms, identity-linked access, reporting and oversight, as well as recoverability over sovereignty. Again, it's not good or bad, just different priorities. If you only understand one custody model, you inherit its trade-offs automatically. That's the risk. Not hacks, not theft, but default dependency. True financial freedom is not about avoiding regulation. It's about understanding the trade-offs. People who understand custody can choose convenience when it makes sense, they can choose control when it matters, or they can adapt as the systems change. People who don't will get locked into defaults, they will lose flexibility, and they won't realize it until it's too late. The most valuable asset you can have in any financial system is optionality. This isn't about fear. This is about literacy. Crypto security is not just about keeping your assets safe. It's about preserving choice in a changing financial system. And the earlier you understand that, the more control you retain, calmly, legally, and intentionally.